little in depth into the Shrutis and Smritis. Shrutis are a compendium of eternal principles. All the four Vedas come under Shrutis. Under each of these four Vedas are Karma Kandas and Jnana Kandas. Karma Kanda, which is also called as the study of actions. The word karma in Sanskrit is action. And another name for it is Purva Mimamsa. The Karma Kanda of the Vedas describe different deities, the rituals to be performed, and the methods of performing them to achieve worldly gains. The rituals prescribed in the Karma Kanda are accepted and performed without questioning. The gains achieved thus are utilitarian in nature and therefore do not provide ultimate happiness. And the next section is called Jnana Kanda, and this is a study of knowledge. Yeah, the word Jnana means knowledge. The name for this section is called Uttara Mimamsa. The Karma Kanda is called as Purva Mimamsa and Jnana Kanda is called as Uttara Mimamsa. Jnana Kanda is a comparatively smaller section of the Vedas, and this Veda has only one end, that is one objective, that is to achieve the perfect self. Because the Jnana Kanda is the very essence, and at the very end of the Vedas, it is called as Vedanta. The knowledge of Vedanta is not a means to achieve some other material means, but the knowledge is in itself the perfect end. Now, earlier section we saw that there are four categories: Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas and Upanishads, right? Now let us see how these all tie up together. The Brahmanas and Samhitas. The Samhitas are the words. The Brahmanas are the rituals. These two come under Karma Kanda, right? And the other two sections, Aranyakas and Upanishads, come under Jnana Kanda, right? The rituals, as discussed earlier, Samhitas are mantras, they are basically the words, and the Brahmanas are the actions or how to perform the rituals as we utter those Samhitas mantras. The Aranyaka section have what are called as Upanishads at the very end. As we saw in the earlier slide, the concluding part of the Aranyakas are Upanishads, and they are the final philosophy. On contemplation, we arrive at the philosophies. So now you may wonder if the final goal of Vedas is Vedanta, that is the Jnana Kanda, and the Vedic philosophy. What is the need for the Samhitas and the Brahmanas? That is those chantings and the ritual performance procedures, how to perform those rituals. What is the need for those sections? They are not going to give you ultimate happiness. So how do we learn? Learn by experiencing. Only when we step on one rung of the ladder are we able to move ahead to the next rung of the ladder. So if this analogy can be applied, Karma Kanda is the first rung of the ladder. You step on that to move up towards Jnana Kanda. So you start with the Samhitas, learn the word, move to the Brahmanas, learn the procedures, then move to the Aranyakas, and then the Upanishads, the final objective. What is learned, memorized, remembered and applied are all called as Apara Vidya, intellectual knowledge. What is gained as an inner experience that has come about because of the vigilant practice and application of the Apara Vidya becomes intuitive knowledge, and that intuitive knowledge is called as Paravidya. The knowledge of Vedanta is not a means to achieve some end, but the knowledge is in itself the end. So that's about the Shrutis. Now let's move on to Smriti. Smriti is the practical application of the eternal principles. They are the Upavedas, applied knowledge, and the 6 Vedangas that we saw, the Shadangas, the 6 limbs of the Vedas that we saw in the earlier slide, they all come under the Smritis. The next comes the Puranas. There are 18 Puranas and 18 Upapuranas. Then comes the 2 Itihasas, the epics. The Veda Upangas, that is 6 Darshanas. Then comes the Dharma Shastras. Now let us see what all come under Upavedas. Under Upavedas, that is the applied knowledge, are Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda and Arthashastra. Arthashastra means economics. Gandharva Veda is music and sacred dance and arts. Dhanurveda is archery. Ayurveda is medicine. Now let us see the Vedangas, the 6 limbs of the Vedas as we saw earlier. Let us recall: Shiksha, phonetics; Vyakaran, grammar; Nirukta, the glossary; the Kalpa, the rituals; Chandas, the prosody or the meter; Jyotisha, astronomy and astrology. Now the next, the Puranas, the 18 Mahapuranas and the 18 Upapuranas. We'll go into the details of this in the later sections. And we'll also be seeing in detail about the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, the 2 great epics. Under Dharma Shastras, we have 18 numbers. Under the Veda Upangas, the 6 Darshanas, we have Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Mimamsa and Vedanta. That's about the practical application of eternal principles. Now, this is the broad outline about the Smritis. We'll be going into detail of each of these categories in later modules. Now, we have come to the close of this section about Vedas. I'm sure you also enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed talking about it. Let's move to the next section. Sai Ram.